Yes, guys, welcome back to Cop Noise TV. Been working away a little bit recently, so I've had to make do with what I can, and I've tried this little trick, little green screen at the back of me. So obviously, the picture behind me now is the background of my studio. Thought I'd give it a go. Bit of video effects, all that kind of stuff. Let's see how we go on. Listen, these things happen. We've got to make do with what we've got to make do with. But listen, the show must go on, and this is why we are all here. Big match preview, and this is a big match as well. Liverpool host Man City on Sunday in the Premier League. This is a huge game for both teams. Liverpool coming off a couple of good wins, one in the Champions League and one last weekend at home to Newcastle. So Liverpool need to back this up now. And a tricky team indeed coming to Anfield. Man City, very hit and miss recently, shall we say. They've had a bit of a dip in form. I know they've drawn a fair few games recently, although they have just qualified for the Carabao Cup final, where they pretty much, on paper, hammered Newcastle. But I've got to say, I want to focus a little bit on this game. Well, probably on both games really, because I watched the first game and I've seen the highlights of the second leg, and I've got to say, as much as the scoreline suggests that it was all City, it really wasn't. Newcastle had some unbelievable chances to not only go ahead in that game, but to get back, to take the lead on the night. Maybe not on aggregate, but definitely on the night. And there was a common theme that City's high line could not cope with the pace in behind. And that's definitely something that Liverpool need to think about this weekend, because Newcastle, we saw it last Sunday, Newcastle come out of the blocks, they come out of the blocks fast, they like to start fast, they like to put you under pressure and on the back foot. And that's what they did to Man City. And I dare say, the goal which opened the scoring against Newcastle, the Marmoush goal, it was fairly lucky, shall we say. Obviously they got in behind, but the finish was really lucky. Obviously Dan Burn slid in to make the challenge, and it ricocheted off his shin over Ramsdale and in the back of the net, and Man City went on to put another three past them. But as I was saying, my point being, the high line that Man City hold, given what they've got in terms of squad selection in their defence at the moment, they've got a very makeshift back four. There's obviously they're playing Mateus Nunes at right back, Matt Gay's coming there now, they're playing Kusanov in there, and left back Nico Riley, who's a decent player, but still fairly new to the Premier League, shall we say. So Liverpool have got to exploit this. They've got to look at that Newcastle game in midweek, and they've got to say, we can take something from this game. We can learn from this. And especially given that we have got the man of the moment. We have got the guy of all guys. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Say it with me. Hugo Ekitike. That's right. The Frenchman is absolutely on fire at the moment. And if Man City are playing a high line, which I have no doubt that Pep Guardiola will play the same tactics against Liverpool, i.e. he will push up as high as he can. We know this. We've seen plenty of Pep's teams over the years to know how he likes to play. If Liverpool get it right, Hugo Ekitike could have a field day against this back four. We saw it in his previous game against Newcastle, where Wirtz dropped in, he pulled the fullback with him, i.e. Kieran Trippier. Kirkes had the ball, literally one ball straight through the channel in between fullback and centre half. Ekitike is in, shows his pace, shows his skill, boom, the ball's in the back of the net. And Liverpool can exploit this again on Sunday. I have no doubts about that, because like I say, Newcastle like to push up, like to play a high line. Man City will do the exact same thing. So Liverpool need to learn from this, and Liverpool need to think, right, where can we exploit City? And that is definitely somewhere where we can exploit them. In terms of squad selection, I've watched Arne Slot's press conference today. I've seen that Jeremy Frimpong hasn't trained this week, so therefore still not up for selection, which is a bit of a shocker really, given that we've got no right backs. Joe Gomez potentially will train on Saturday before the game. Slot did say that the game will probably come a little bit too soon for Joe, but he may be able to help the team. So that means he will probably make up one of the substitutes players. So at least we've got, I want to say a proper right back. Joe Gomez is a centre back to me. At least we've got a defensive-minded player that's able to play in there. So it looks as though Dominic Szoboszlai will probably be doing another shift at right back. And this worries me. This worries me because Liverpool's midfield is very much hit and miss. Jekyll and Hyde, shall we say. Some weeks we're brilliant, some weeks we're not so good. And there's one player that epitomises this more than anyone. That's Alexis McAllister. Honestly, the guy is like a yo-yo this season. He plays great, he plays shit. He plays great, he plays shit. And without Dominic Szoboszlai in the midfield, Liverpool could be at risk of getting run over and run about because we know City's energy in the middle of the park. We know they're going to get about. We know they're going to hassle. We know they're going to harry. We know they're going to press. And they're going to want to dictate the ball in the middle of the park. And Dominic Szoboszlai is key to Liverpool doing the opposite, shall we say, to the opposition, setting the press, setting the standards, setting the tempo, and giving that high energy in the middle of the park. And without him in there, Liverpool will miss that for sure. Do I think there's a world where potentially Szoboszlai starts in midfield and Wataru Endo or Curtis Jones plays at right back? I doubt it. I very much doubt it, given the fact that how tricky City's wingers will be. I imagine it's Jeremy Doku that will be on the left-hand side, Semenyo on the right-hand side. So Doku will cause a threat, and having someone in there of the likes of Endo, the likes of Jones, do we think that that's a bit of a mismatch? Potentially, I don't know. I mean, Wataru Endo does give you that defensive mindedness, but Dominic Szoboszlai gives you the physicality, he gives you the pace, he gives you the engine to get up and down if needed. So, as much as I regret to say it, I think I would prefer Szoboszlai there, and I reckon that Arne will probably play Dominic Szoboszlai there. Now, looking at these two teams in the league, as I said earlier on in the show, Man City are not a million miles away from Liverpool. Man City are catchable. Man City are dropping points, and Liverpool are potentially turning a corner. I mean, how many times have we said that this season and it's not happened? Yes, I know, many a times. However, we can all live in hope, Reds. We can. I think Liverpool, look at how Liverpool have played this season. We play better against teams that are more open, more expansive. I'm thinking of the likes of Arsenal away. Fair enough, we didn't win the game, but we played well for a good hour in that game. Newcastle at home. Oh, we didn't play well against Man City. That's probably the only ones I can think of off the top of my head. Real Madrid. Real Madrid obviously like to play football. They came to Anfield. We beat them. Liverpool do tend to play better. I'm not going to mention the fucking low block because I know every single one of us is sick of hearing about a low block. But Man City are catchable. And if Liverpool can manage to get 3 points this weekend, I dare say we'd probably hand the title to Arsenal. I mean, look, does that really matter? The title's miles away from us. I mean, we can have an influence in it, i.e. in terms of these games, but we're not interested, are we? It doesn't really matter whether... Well, it doesn't matter to me anyway. I don't know what you guys think of the comments, but I don't really give a shit if Arsenal win it or City win it. I think probably I prefer Arsenal to win it because it means that City are one less title away from getting closer to us. I think they're on 10 at the moment, you know, and yes, we're on 20, they've still got a long way to go, but we all know that City can go back to back to back at any given stage. So the more titles we can keep away from Manchester, the better for me. So if taking 3 points off Man City on Sunday elevates Liverpool up the Premier League and gets us closer to cementing a top 4 spot, so be it. If that means giving the title or giving Arsenal one hand on the title, shall we say. In terms of squad selection, obviously, I mentioned it earlier about the injuries at the back. No fresh concerns up top. So for me, Liverpool's team pretty much picks itself. I would imagine that Alisson Becker will be in goal. As I said earlier, Dominic Szoboszlai will start at right back for me, and I think I would prefer Dominic Szoboszlai to play there. Ibu Konate and Virgil van Dijk will command the centre of the defence. Konate had one of the best games of the season for me against Newcastle. He was an absolute colossus at the back. He cut out everything. He won everything in the air. He was immense. So another one of those games would be nice from him. As I say, Virgil van Dijk alongside him. Milos Kerkez plays at left back. I think that is his shirt now. I think Andy Robertson, as much as we all love him, we've conceded that he is our backup left back now to Milos Kerkez. Middle of the park, I am going for Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch and Florian Wirtz. I think they will be our three that will command it. I think you will see probably McAllister and Gravenberch play more of a central pivot, play more of a restricted role, if you like. Florian Wirtz will sit in that line in between midfield and attack, just doing magic stuff that Florian Wirtz does. And then on the top line, I reckon Cody Gakpo, Mohamed Salah and Hugo Ekitike will complete our forward line up top. As I said earlier, Hugo Ekitike is most certainly the man of the moment. And I can see him getting on the score sheet. And like I say, if we can get it right, if we can get early balls through to Ekitike, getting on the shoulder of Man City's high line, I think there's goals to be had for Liverpool. I really do. That means obviously we've got to keep it tight at the other end, but I dare say Liverpool haven't been doing too bad of late. Touch wood, defensive wise, we've definitely shored up at the back. Take away the Bournemouth game, obviously, because we was pretty shit, but I'm putting that one down to individual errors and not a team collective. On the whole, Liverpool haven't been too bad at the back. So, here's the big one, the score predictions. What do I think it will be? I'm going to go optimistic. I am, and I reckon Liverpool come away from this with a 2-1 victory. And I'm going to say Mohamed Salah scores with a penalty. I'm going with a pen from Salah. And I think Hugo Ekitike will continue his hot streak for the Reds and get on the score sheet once again. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in terms of team selection and score predictions in the comments below. And if you've liked the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Catch you in a bit, Reds. Thanks for watching.